Hey everyone, welcome back to the Papi Coder channel. Today we are diving into one of the core concepts of Python, operators. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to sharpen your skills, understanding operators is essential. So let's break them down and make this super easy. Make sure to stick around because we cover examples, use cases, and little tips to help you code smarter. To start, let's define what operators are in programming. Think of operators as symbols or keywords that perform operations on variables and values. They help us perform tasks like calculations, comparisons, and even logical decisions. In Python, operators are grouped into several types. So let's go through each type one by one. Let's kick things off with arithmetic operators. These are used to perform basic mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Let's say we want to calculate the result of two numbers. We have A equals 15, B equals 4, and we have this set of operations here. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponential, and floor division. In this example, each line actually demonstrates an arithmetic operation with A and B. And notice how we use different operators for different operations, and the output will show us the result of each. So now let's run the program and see the output. And now we can see that definitely the different operation gives us different results. Next, we have the comparison operators. These operators compare values and return either true or false, which is super useful when making decisions in our code. Here is a quick example of how you might use comparison operators. We have our x and y here, and the values x is equal to 10 and value y is equal to 15. And in this example, we use comparison operators to see how x and y relate to each other. And these are super useful in if statements, if you know where you might need to take action based on conditions. So if we run this, we can actually see the result to all these comparison operators. So as you can see here, the value of y and x is 10, y is 15, and we can see the result here is x equals to y, false, is x not equals to y, true, and this gives us the result of the comparison operations. Now let's talk about logical operators. They help us combine multiple conditions. The three main logical operators are and, or, and not. Looking at the example we have here, we have our x equals 10, y equals 15, z equals 5. And in this first example here, where we are printing this result, we are checking is x greater than z and y greater than z. In the first example, the AND operator here, the AND logical operator, checks if both conditions are true, and only when both conditions are true, that is when it returns a true boolean result. It returns true back to us as the result. Now the second statement here only needs one of the conditions to actually be true, because we are using the or logical operator. So here is checking x greater than y or y greater than z, and here once one of these two conditions is actually true, it would return to us true. And the third statement here is the not statement, and what this basically does is it reverses the actual result. So here it says x less than z. Now if this is true, all not does is not negates that result and gives us false. So that is what that does. Let's run this and see the output we will be getting. And here, as you can see, here we get our result out for our logical operations. Next up, we have assignment operators. These operators assign values to variables. The most common one is the equal to sign, but there are also combinations that perform an operation and then assign the result. Let's look at the example that we have here. We have assigned a value to x, and we want to use different assignment operators on the variable x. Now here, each operator modifies x based on the previous value. So we have an operation here that is actually adding and assigning to x, here multiplying and assigning to x, and the last one modulus and applying and assigning to x rather. Now the assignment operators are useful for updating values of variables in a concise way. So they are useful in updating variables. Now here, as you can see, we have the value here. Here it is going to add and assign that value back to x, which means it's going to update the value of x, and here it's going to multiply that value, the updated value, and store it in x, which means x gets updated again, and it does the same thing for the modulus. Now let's run and see our results. Now as you can see, our value of x initially was 10. Now after adding 5 and assigning it back to x, our value becomes 15. Then we perform multiplication by 2 and assign it back to x, which means 15 times 2, that gives us 30. And after that, we now perform a modulus, which actually returns a remainder to us, and we divide by 3, modulus 3, and assign back to x. So the remainder, when we divide by 3, 30 divided by 3, the remainder will be 0. And as you can see, the updated value for x is now 0. So that is what the assignment operators can actually do. Bitwise operators perform operations at the binary level, directly manipulating the bits of the values. Let's have a quick look at this example right here. We have our variable a set to 6, variable b set to 3, and these are their respective values in binary. And bitwise operators generally may look intimidating, but they are essential in cases where you need optimized low-level calculations, like in game development or systems programming. But in this course, we will not be delving deep into that. I just want to give us a quick look of how we can make use of bitwise operators and just see what how they perform. And here we can see the result of the operations that we performed using bitwise operators. Lastly, Python has special operators like membership and identity operators. Membership operators check if a value is in a sequence, like a list, tuple, or string. And examples of this include in and not in. In this example here, we have our list of fruits where we have apple, banana, and cherry. And here we just want to check if apple is actually inside this list using our special operator in. And we can see here we already have that. Now let's see the result. So, and as you can see, is apple in fruits? It shows us true. And as you can see, our list of fruits here, we have apple right there. So this is how we can make use of special operators. Identity operators check if two objects are the same, and examples of this include is and is not. And there you have it. We've covered all the core operators in Python. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button if you found this tutorial helpful. See you in the next one.